So before this class, this would have taken me like 5 seconds. I've been like, yes, bring them all back immediately. But now that I know more of the situation, more of the implications, um, I still say yes, but I say yes to most FTFs, not all of them. So I would say if we know that they have performed an attack, like actual violent attack and killed somebody, or something like, or hurt somebody, then we should not bring them back because I think the risk is too great for those kind of people. But if they've only performed in training, then I think we should use a case by case basis and decide from there if you want to bring them back. But for most of them, bring most of them back. So according to that first source, the March trends, there are 439 FTFs from North America. I think it was in Iraq and Saudi Arabia, and that is few enough that I think we could handle it, handle rehabilitation in that infrastructure. So I say yes, everybody deserves a second chance. That's the way I've been raised. Every human's life, it matters, and I don't think we should just leave them for dead just because they have made a series of bad decisions, but I think most of them were under a pretty grand deception and have probably realized at least a little bit that they have been manipulated, especially children. Okay, so but when we do bring them back, which I think we should do, there's some things we have to consider, especially, yeah, okay. So the second source had a lot of ideas about that, one from International Institute for Justice and Rule of Law, and I liked a lot of their ideas, especially the idea about having FTFs meet with scholars, former FTFs, and terrorist victims to kind of discuss things with each other and hopefully allow them to realize some of the consequences and immorality of their actions. I think this stands a pretty good chance of reversing that mindset because the words are from people who really understand FTF's mindset. Like they understand where they're coming from. So yeah. And I think one of the main causes of terrorism and radicalization is when people are in very isolated situations and they are able to be manipulated by that message. So de-isolation seems to be a logical solution to the problem of integration. So I do like the second source's idea of reintegration into society, but I have some caveats because in the second source they talk about having not only community leaders know about the FTF situation, but also like kind of just the broader community, like everybody in the community. And I understand why they want to do that, but I don't think in practice it would be as non-violent and accepted as this document makes it out to be. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like in this political climate, especially if people know that an FTF is in their community, especially an adult one, they're not going to have sympathy for them, or at least some people might not, and it'll end up on social media and somebody might use some vigilante justice on them, whether physical or some other vigilante justice that would really kind of make the FTF either like physically harmed or like have more resentment towards the community, which would kind of be counterproductive. So I think we need to wait for that the whole community to know for at least a longer period of time or not at all. So that's my only caveat on that. But I do think that overall we do need to bring FTFs back that we can because they were manipulated and I think everybody deserves a second chance. And also their FTFs that come back, according to that second source, they're 0.0027% of them engaged in terrorist attacks. And I know they're more lethal when they do, but that's few enough that, I mean, I think we should just give them the benefit of the doubt and have that team surrounding them so that if something does happen in their behavior or if they are like kind of trying to radicalize people, we will most likely catch it before it becomes a real problem.